We have a short program tonight, and if everybody minds their manners, we should only be a couple minutes. And that way you can all get back home and watch your TV or your favorite election commercial. Anyway, thanks for coming. This really was no surprise, but it is Linda's retirement party. Thank you for your many years of service. In addition to being the clerk treasurer here in the town for 15 years, she has left her mark of excellence in everything we see or do here at the town or in this building. This facility was built with her input and the knowledge of what a town hall should be for everyone's use and to enjoy. To her credit, she runs the heating, the air conditioning, and if she can't fix it, she knows who to call. And she's always our lightweight when it comes to plumbing or water issues here at the town hall. On your way in, you notice that the flower arrangements in the front and the plantings, and I'll give her the credit for what she has left behind, and that happens to be her special interest. And along with that, our two maintenance people who donate their hours and time, Don and Judy Maas, have kept it up very nicely. In her absence, we hope you continue, and we'd like to have her come back too. So, I don't know if everybody knows Don and Judy. You want to stand up so they know who you are? And in the event the grass wasn't mowed, she would have been out there pushing the mower and catching the trimmings so that nobody brought anything into the building. Likewise, if you passed by in the wintertime, you would also find Linda out there shoveling snow or spreading the salt to make sure that no one slipped or fell or had the feeling that the office was not open. Should you have attended a softball or baseball game over in the ball fields, you'd find her working the concession stand or in the serving line at the annual fish fry for the Legion team. In addition to being the clerk treasurer, she has served as the chairperson at the annual Sevastopol school meetings, plural, meaning more than one. And the town garage or rummage sale was her idea, and it was successful, and many enjoyed going to it. To top that, she was also a mover and a shaker of the Sevastopol Historical Society. Some of us like to call it hysterical. And speaking of moving and shaking, you could always find her down at the corner saloon when it was barn. You could find her down there when it was barn dance night. In the past several years, she has also been the secretary for the Wisconsin Towns Association, Door County Unit, and the Scenic Coastal Byway Council. Despite all this activity, she has most recently been elected to the Door County Board of Supervisors for the western part of the town. And if the rumors come true, she may be a future member of the Sevastopol Town Board. Since June 20, Linda has been the mentor for our newly appointed clerk treasurer and continues on in an as-needed basis, or in the event that Amy just doesn't want to come to work. I could go on with more. I have another sheet or two, but we do have other members of the board here that want to wish her farewell, and I don't know who brought the check, but anyway. So we'll start off, we'll ask Dan to be up first. Dan Whipple is our vice chairman. Chairman of, there's no vice in this way. So.
I brought my own glasses. Well, Leo and I think alike, so there's going to be a little bit of redundancy here, but I think it's still fitting. Linda's retirement. Thinking back over the years, I wondered to myself, would I miss her? I mean, do I care? So I sat down and I tried to think if there was anything that I would miss about Linda Wade. And then I thought, will it be her great advice on avoiding potential legal issues or problems that came as a result of her prior background and experience? She was a whiz at researching problems and giving us another opinion to evaluate. Will it be her accuracy in transcribing our town meeting minutes? Or, and this is a big one, clearly restating our meeting motions, which were never clear to begin with. If you've listened to us on TV, you know how many times we modified our own motions? We couldn't tell what we said. She somehow managed to regurgitate that correctly. Will it be her authoring numerous well-written letters on the town's behalf? She did an outstanding job in that regard. Will it be her cutting the grass or weeding the garden to ensure the building is presentable to all that use it? Will it be her keeping us all focused on spending to ensure that we are within our budget? Linda has a little frugal nature about her, and she's made it her job to make sure we share that trait. So, thank you for that. Will it be her standing in the concession stand at the town park selling hot dogs or gummy bears at the summer softball games? Will it be her work as the co-chair of the sesquicentennial celebration? And man, that was a great party. Will it be her ability to keep us on track for numerous activities and deadlines? Will it be her representing us as the chair of the Door County chapter of the Wisconsin Towns Association? Or will it be her keeping the community well informed with her articles in the Advocate? Well, by now you get the point. You all know the answer to my question, will I miss her? Absolutely. So after 15 years, she deserves a break, and although we will all miss her greatly, she has left us in good hands by training her replacement, who will guide us through the next few years. But thank you, Linda.
Yeah, maybe we should have compared notes, Dan. But.
Well, I wrote yours.
Okay, the next person to speak is Chuck Tice. He's a supervisor on the town board as well. Come on forward, Chuck.
Well, when we first asked Linda if she'd be a full-time clerk, she came back with the remark that, I don't think there's enough work to warrant a full-time position, but I'm sure I can find things to do. So as we went along, she came up with ideas. Shovel the snow. And we built this new town hall. Somebody's got to clean the snow up. We've got empty the garbage cans. How about trim the Christmas tree? As you go along, you got climb the ladder to reset the fire alarm. And that's right. Who took my ladder? One day we're working here, she's got to go and check the restrooms every morning. Make sure that paper's there and things are clean and tidy. We've got... Linda, can you take minutes at the committee meetings tonight? No problem, she was always there. Or how about test the water? We got to test the water at the park and at the town hall. And then we got to do it again. Now we got to do it again. She's in charge of setting up the park pavilion rentals, the Christmas open house hostess. Go around. How about program that electronic sign out front? Keep that up to date. Who took my ladder again? Actually, we did find it. It was down in the park. Create and maintain the floral plantings around the building and in the building. She's always watering the plants. You got to water that Christmas tree again, too. I never saw something that drank so much water. Make coffee for meetings. We've got one here that's, oh, she's going to go to her exercise class today. Day off. Asked her one day, she had a day off. It was a holiday weekend. What are you going to do this weekend? Oh, I'm going to go home and make firewood. Like she could never just sit down and rest. She always supplied the treats at meetings and get-togethers. Oh, here's another one. Who took her toolbox this time? She actually went out and purchased some tools and created her own little toolbox to do handy items. And she arranges the town's garage sales. So she found plenty to do. We'll miss you. Thank you. You can take the tree home and plant it in your yard.
We actually have 5 members on the board. However, John Stavinus, I believe, is up in Eagle River. His employment took him up there, and in his place we have his wife, who's going to, we didn't bring you? Maybe he's on the phone now. And I don't see Tony Hain. Haven't heard anything from him. But anyway, we have former members here. Richard, you up front want to, I'll give you a couple of minutes. Don't take all night. I was going to say it'd be the first time you didn't have something to say.
I don't know. Do I get paid for this? Well, I think, in the years that I was on the town board, I looked at Linda as someone to guide the town board through all the legal, whatever, things that we had to always consider. And I certainly looked at Linda as a person who prompted Leo, especially when we had to establish the tax levy for the town, and he kept, where does he go? He kept forgetting what the tax levy was, and Linda always knew the numbers and would keep repeating it, and finally, yep, Leo finally got it. So I think any government body, especially a local town government, always has someone who they can go to, whether it's the constituency that lives within the town or the town board members, somebody that has that information they're looking for, or maybe the shoulder to, maybe not cry on, but an ear to hear their concerns and to be able to filter those out maybe for the next town board meeting. So and I certainly look forward, where's Amy? Amy, there she is. Amy Fluck is taking over for Linda as town clerk and treasurer. And so far, I think she's got a good ear for listening to people's concerns and leading the town board. So as a past town board member, I enjoyed being on the board with Linda's guidance. And certainly, being retired myself, I think you'll find plenty of things to, you'll find plenty of things to occupy yourself. So, thanks again, and sure.
You aren't running the show, just sit down. And you all thought it was easy. Okay. But we do appreciate all the input that she's had over the years, and she made us all better for the town and made better leaders of all of us. It wasn't until I read the annual or monthly news article in the Door County, what is that called? Employee magazine or something, that I realized that from the get-go, Linda had an ambition, and it was to be a country and western singer. Well, we didn't really get to that part. I also learned that, I better not say that. Anyway, we're trying to get a hold of Tony. Maybe he is still asleep, or else he forgot what time it was to come. Anyway, to go a little bit further. Anyone else here wanting to say anything nice about Linda? And then I'll be the judge as to whether or not you continue. So.
She's a great aerobics teacher.
All right, Jim Evison, you had your hand up. Okay.
Yes, I did. Thank you, Laddie. This is unrehearsed, but most of you haven't heard that Linda was born and raised in this township. She went to school here. She worked on a farm. She learned all of those habits in part because she's a farmer's daughter and a natural artist and a person who she considers herself a conservative, but she is a progressive. And she'll learn more about that in the years to come. And we misnamed this party. It's not a retirement party. She's too young to retire. And she says she likes music. She's like the Rolling Stones. She gathers no moss. And she's moving on to bigger and better things. One day she might be a member of the town board of Sevastopol.
Right.
Anybody else want a microphone?
All right, we'll allow Linda to come up and have a few items.
I would just like to thank Linda for all the help that she's given over the years. When we came in with little stupid questions about something, she always knew the answer or else who to get in touch with to solve the problem. And that was really very appreciated. Thanks, Linda.
Pass the buck. Now you find somebody.
Someone else?
Okay, the next one to get up and speak in her favor, I think, is our new town clerk treasurer. And this is Amy Leist Flock.
Okay.
He said 3 minutes, and I haven't gotten even to think of 3 minutes. So I said in the beginning that it would be an honor to work with you. And it has. And every day I check with you to see, my parents just retired. And somehow they feel like they're fish out of water. And so every day I would check with Linda. And she'd say, well, it's getting easier. I don't have a routine. But I think she's coming along. And she's finding her way, and she's a plethora of knowledge. If I know where she is, I'll call her there like I did when she was getting her hair done across the street. I can find her. So I'll find the answer. So she's an amazing woman, and she knows so much, and I'm very lucky to have her as a mentor.
Very good. Thank you.
We have someone over here wants to.
It's hard to say anything, but I'm very, very proud to have her as a daughter. I know she may sometimes look like just an ordinary person, but I couldn't find anyone that I would rather have for a daughter. Thank you so much for everybody, because you all have been so good to her.
Well, y'all heard of Mother Hen. That was Mother Keno. Okay, Linda, I think we're to the point we just have a little token of in appreciation. So if you want to come forward. Can I bring one? Oh. Do we have a daughter? There should be no whining at this thing. Okay. I did the hard thing, I interrupted. Good. Just don't drop it.
Oh, this is
I don't think it's going to fit.
This is very beautiful. Linda B. Wade, 2001-2016, for treasurer, Town of Sevastopol, North Wisconsin. Oh, very good. Thank you. This really means a lot to me.
Well, I don't know what the cash value is.
Thank you.
Thank you for the good job you've done for us.
You are very.
In addition to that, before you leave, you get to choose which bouquet you'd like to take. And the other will go with your mother.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay? Okay,
Appreciate that.
the show belongs to the honoree.
I'll get into thank yous in a little bit. You notice I grabbed the microphone because I can't stand still. First, I'm going to take you back 100 years. Yeah? And then I'm going to take you back 50 years, and then I'm going to take you back 16 years. I'll try to, do I only have 3 minutes as well? Okay.
They want to stay?
5263 County Road P. It's right down the road here, just past Institute. In the early 1900s, Matthew Ritt built a brick house. He was, I don't recall, supervisor or clerk or treasurer for the town of Sevastopol. When he left that house, in moved the Harrises. And Mr. Harris, I believe, was clerk or treasurer or supervisor for the town of Sevastopol. In 1952, William and Betty Keno moved into 5263 County P. And my dad was a supervisor for the Sevastopol Town Board. I grew up at 5263 County P. A few years ago, we decided to have a garage sale. Mom, it was time to get rid of a few things. It was a rainy weekend. I think we made like maybe 10 or 20 bucks. In that garage sale was this desk. It looks a little different now. It was very, we pulled it out of the farthest corner of the attic in our house upstairs, in that brick house. Put it in the garage sale, didn't sell. Stayed in our garage for a few more years. Finally, I decided, hey, I need a desk at home. I'm going to need an office. So I dragged this to my house, and I stripped it and, put some tung oil on it, and I thought, oh, this looks pretty good. Well, so it was just like carrying on. Okay, from the Ritz to the Harrises to the Kinos to the Whites. So I'm donating this desk to the town hall. I'm thinking it's probably close to 100 years old. So there you go. And my second story, which I said was going to be about 50 years ago, the Sevastopol 6th grade. Yes, I attended Sevastopol school next door. The Sevastopol 6th grade, we were transported to Cherry School. Mr. Schultz is here, our principal at the time. I'm sure he remembers that. So the the Cherry School is on the corner of Gordon and Cherry. It's the former Door County Child Care Services. So anyway, for some reason, the 6th grade at Sevastopol went to Cherry School. Chuck, you may have been with us, I'm not sure. Mrs. Hugo Combs was our teacher. So in our social studies government class, Mrs. Combs said, hey, let's elect officers. Oh, okay, that sounds great. So we'll elect a president/chairman, a vice president/vice chairman, and a secretary clerk. So we went through those elections, and somebody said, oh, Linda Keno, you could be the clerk for our 6th grade class. And I thought, well, how difficult can it be to take minutes, right? So I wasn't intimidated. Yeah, I'll serve as the clerk/secretary. So we had our first class meeting, and then we had our second class meeting a week or two later. And so the president stands up. I don't remember who it was. Chuck, maybe you remember. And says, okay, Linda, will you please read the minutes of our previous meeting? So I stood up, and I said, yes, the 6th grade class met at 9:30, and we concluded at 10:15, so that's 45 minutes. And everybody was snickering, and Mrs. Combs is like, well, Linda, would you like to elaborate on that? I said, well, no, it was 45 minutes long. I've come a long way since then. In 2001, I became the clerk treasurer for the town of Sevastopol, and Leo was our chairman at the time. So again, I was a little intimidated having him review my minutes, but I think we've developed a pretty good working relationship over the years. So anyway, and I bet you don't know that the clerk has the power to appoint a deputy clerk. I don't have to get the board okay or anything. I can just appoint a deputy clerk. And I have used a deputy clerk on many, many, many occasions.
As long as you paid them out of your salary.
Yes, that was the rule. If a clerk deputized somebody, you had to pay them out of your salary. Well, my deputy clerk never asked for any compensation. This deputy clerk was on call 24 hours a day. When it came time to get the town Christmas tree, I would call my deputy clerk, and this person would go with me and traipse through swamps and woods until I found the perfect town Christmas tree. This deputy clerk had no problem 9 p.m. on the night before an election. Can you come help me set up the room quick? We got to set up for the election. Yep. This deputy clerk was there, Johnny on the spot. Let's see. Oh, and I needed something from the pavilion, and it required a pickup. This deputy clerk was there, never failed. And he was so appreciative. He was never compensated, but he was so appreciative that he got to serve as deputy clerk that he bought me a brand new Camaro. I don't get it. So Paul Wickman, my boyfriend, my best friend, you've been in the background all these years. It's time you were recognized. So thank you, Paul. Like I said, a lot of you don't know what is involved with running a town hall and setting up for an election and just the general maintenance and everything. Paul was always there to help me. So anyway, so that's that. Amy Fluck is doing fantastic. We will have a very smooth transition. She is a joy to work with. I think we get along so well because we both come from farm backgrounds, and we're not afraid of hard work. I'm not going to go to any more history. Laddie has a very delightful interview. He arranged an interview with Pete Devlin and myself a few months ago, so please watch that on YouTube. That'll give you the whole history on how I came to be the clerk. There was also articles in the Door County Advocate. Amy and I each submitted an article. So that'll give you some history as well. So I didn't want to repeat any of that. It has been my pleasure to be your clerk treasurer since 2001. It's hard to say that it was a job. It's hard to say job when you love what you do. I have always had, having gone to school next door, growing up down the road, I have always had a passion for the town of Sevastopol. And it's town, not township. And I hope to continue that at the county board level. It is my pleasure to represent you at the county board. It has also been a pleasure working with every one of the town board members, Dan and Leo and Chuck and Tony, Richard, John, Tom Gurman, Donnie Hain, who I miss a lot, Tom Olson. I hope I didn't miss anybody in the last 15 years, but Jerry Warwick. Joanne Schley, right? Thank you, Arlene. So like I said, it has been my pleasure. I haven't really considered it a job. So how's retirement? I don't know. My first official day of retirement, I left my house at 7:30 a.m. I didn't walk in the door until 7:30 p.m. Likewise, Amy's first day, June 20th, she walked in the door at about 7:45 a.m. and didn't leave until about 10 p.m. So again, we have something in common, Amy. I don't mind her calling me at all. It is, like I said, it's a real joy to work with Amy. She's going to be fantastic. Thank you all for coming this afternoon, this evening. I love each and every one of you. I will miss you all. But you might see me at the November election. You never know. Pete Devlin in our interview asked me what's the strangest thing that ever happened, or what's the strangest question that you ever received as the town clerk? I don't recall who it was, and I won't mention any names, but I did get a call. It was shortly after we had mailed out the tax bills. So this person was looking at their tax bill, and he said, I'm looking at my tax bill, and I don't see my senior citizen discount. That's the truth. So that was probably the most entertaining question that I ever received. Uh-oh, I'm getting the look. So anyway, thank you all very, very much. Thank you for the memento. You will see me around. So.
I've never known her to be without words. I need to ask about this desk. Is there a reason why it's here? Are you returning something you took from the town now?
No. I'm guessing this desk is over 100 years old. It started off with a clerk named Matthew Ritt, who lived at 5263 County P.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to repeat that story. It's staying at the town hall. Maybe at the next yard sale you could auction it off, I don't know. But
Your name on it. Donated by. Okay, thank you very much.
thank you
All right.
all. Thank you all.
Hopefully you've all had a chance to take a look at the award that we presented to her, and it didn't fall apart by the time we got to the end. I haven't anything else to say other than we only have this place rented until 8 o'clock. So have your final food and drink, and best wishes to Linda, and we'll call it an evening. So, thanks for coming.